I've been giving some thought to why people create, like why paint, why make stuff or build stuff or compose things. Um, and I was doing some research online about that because when you create things, you're supposed to have a meaning behind it. And I've really struggled with coming up with like a meaning for why I create paintings. Besides the feeling that I just want to, and I love this, and I love color. Um, and in my research, I found a couple of things. Um, One thing was a quote I like, and I'm not quite sure if it's apropos to the subject, but it's a quote by Vincent van Gogh, and he said, "Normality is a paved road. It's comfortable to walk on, but no flowers grow on it." I love that. I was also thinking about many years ago when I was in high school, I took a photography class, and as like a final project, we had to select several photos that we took ourselves, and back then you had access to chemicals and enlargers and dark rooms and all that kind of fun stuff. And so I had a 35 millimeter camera, and we learned to develop our own film and print it and use enlargers, and it was just really fun. So you were supposed to create like a photo essay where you would pick like a quote or a statement or something that you really liked. And I don't know where I found it, probably the World Book Encyclopedia, because we had a set of those when we were kids at our house. And I selected one by William Blake. And for some reason, it's always stuck with me. I don't think I have the photo essay anymore, or I don't know if you call it that. It was like maybe 4 or 5 photographs, and we dry mounted them. And they were like 8 by 10, I guess, black and white photos that we took. And we had to dry mount them, and we put them in like a spiral book. And that was like a project we had to do. And for some reason, the William Blake quote has always stuck with me. And I think it has something to do with, that's weird, my mother's phone is ringing. Scam likely. Anyway, I'm going to read you the very brief William Blake poem. He was a painter, an engraver, and a poet in the Romantic Age. And he wrote, one of his most famous quotes is, "To see a world in a grain of sand and a heaven in a wild flower. Hold infinity in the palm of your hand and eternity in an hour." And that's the poem that I selected. And I remember doing it in my, with like one of those fun pens, like a calligraphy pen, and having a lot of fun doing that. And trying to find photographs that would portray that was difficult. And then we put them in a book. And I guess what I was thinking about is what this is supposed to be about is like, why create something? It could be anything, but in my case, it's a painting, which I have not really been able to do a lot of lately for several reasons, but I think about it a lot. And I think it's about, for me, is like, I'm not like a superficial person in that I'm not really like on, and maybe you're like this too, I'm not really like on autopilot. I feel like I can't accept what's on the surface. I feel like I have to dig deeper. I have a deep need to know the why, the truth, the meaning behind something. But yeah, ironically, I didn't even know the meaning of why I paint. So stupid. But anyway, I think one thing is, it's just it's like a primal urge, or it's like a deep-seated desire or need to make something from your own imagination and to practice it and get better at it and to see improvement every day, to explore and play, but also I think being drawn to like a certain subject and I've always been drawn to flowers, even though really I'm not a big gardener. I like to garden, but I really don't have a lot of gardening experience. And typically if and when I garden, it was more like growing fruit, mostly vegetables, because fruit's hard to grow, but not so much flowers. But there's something about painting flowers that I've always really loved, and I think it's goes back to the William Blake poem that like by observing nature, because I've always been my daughter calls me the detective. I've always been really observant. Like I notice things, and it's kind of like a weird gift. I can't help it. It's just how I am. Like I remember details, unimportant things that mean nothing to other people, but for some reason I like tend to uber focus on the details. Guess it's the Virgo in me. I don't know, but like I notice stuff, and really that's what creating is about, for me anyway. It's really looking at something and then practicing taking what you've really observed, shapes, colors, textures, that kind of thing, and trying to master the art of taking what you've seen and put it on like a two-dimensional, like taking a multi-dimensional, a three-dimensional object, like a flower growing, and trying to convert that in your brain to like a two-dimensional thing, and mastering the materials like paint to take that and put it on like a flat surface and have it look multi-dimensional or three-dimensional and have it look aesthetically pleasing, I guess is. And that's a very subjective thing, because what some people find aesthetically pleasing, other people don't. Some people would like a painting of flowers, other people would not. But I think it's also like not trying to please everyone. It's trying to please yourself, and like improving your skill, improving your powers of observation, and making something that I really like. And by making something that I really like, there might be a small percentage of people in the world who might like it too. And I guess that's a thought I've had. So anyway, I think that was everything I wanted to say. I guess getting back to the William Blake thing, I think that there's something about the observation of small details. And I guess also like the part about eternity, I guess I have come to believe, it's just sort of a weird inner knowing, and you may not, it's an opinion, you may disagree, and that's great. It's just kind of what I feel like. I feel like that there's just one consciousness, and that we are all one, like one thought, one, it's not really like a cloud, not really like a brain, I guess one consciousness, and that our souls tap into somehow, I don't know how, like a thread, our souls tap into that giant consciousness, which could be like God or the universe or the oversoul, and we're all like part of this one thing, and we're really not aware that we're all part of the same thing. Well, some of us might be. And that's why when you sometimes meet someone and you connect with them immediately, it's just, I don't know, maybe your thread's near them, or you've known them in a past life. I don't know. I haven't really I have a lot of thoughts on this, but I guess it goes back to my feeling that we are all one, and that we've lived many lives, and so I guess I believe in reincarnation, and we don't remember our past lives. I mean, some people do, like with near-death experiences, and I guess this is going way off on a tangent, but I feel like there's one giant consciousness out there, and we are all little fractals of that, and that we're really all one. Anyway, that's just my thought for the day. Take care.